Two-year-old pacing colts are in the third baby race, and they're on the track. Number one, Woodmere Rocket, owned by the stable Woodmere Rocket of Guelph, Ontario, trained by Jamie Smith, Corey McPherson. Two, Rain Man, owned by Debbie Denny of Brooklyn, Douglas Lowthers of Inverness, Nova Scotia. Trainer-driver is Adam Murner. Free Sugar Cube, owned by Lucy St. Amour, Randy Price, Diane Crossman, for trainer-driver Kenny Arsenault. Four is Brew Ha Ha Speed, owned by Debbie Francis of Nova Scotia. Paul Langell trains and drives. Donald Bay Andrew is the 5 for owner Ian Smith of Stratford, trainer Tommy Weatherby, Brody McPhee, the driver. 6 is Malicious Whisper, owned by Albany Meadows of Albany, for trainer Cliff Murphy. Kenny Murphy does the driving. On these colts as they get set to line up behind the gate, Woodmere Rocket, a Tobago Case gelding out of the Ponderosa Dam Muzzet Mindale, bred by Woodmere Farms of Marshfield, owned by the stable Woodmere Rocket of Guelph, Ontario. He's trained by Jamie Smith and driven by Corey McPherson. And he has a half-brother, Saddle Up, an 8-year-old J.K. end of an era gelding, whom from 147 starts has 37 wins and just under $600,000 in prize money and a record of 50-1. Number 2, the Rain Man, blood money gelding out of the Village Jolt Dam, Catch a Jolt, bred by Belinda Gray of Youngs Cove, New Brunswick, and David Waite from Corinth, Maine, owned by Debbie Denny of Brooklyn and Doug Lowthers of Inverness, Nova Scotia, trained and driven by Adam Murner, half-brother to Mr. Harris, who from 9 starts has a win and a record of 2 minutes at Summerside. 3, Sugar Coop, flame-proof Hanover colt out of the Stonebridge Terror Dam, Sugary Sweet, bred and owned by Lucy St. Amour, St. John, Randy Price of Canaan Station, and Diane Crossman of St. John, trained and driven by Kenny Arsenault. First pole from Sugary Sweet, who is a half-sister to A Spoonful of Sugar. From 73 starts, had 6 wins and $70,000 in prize money and a record of 53-4. Brew Ha Ha Speed, Somewhere Fancy Gelding, out of the Lismara Dam, Erie Hostess, bred by Allard Racing of St. Esprit, sold at the 25 Atlantic Classic sale to Daniel Henry, owned by Debbie Francis, Sweets Corner, Nova Scotia, Deborah Downing of Cornwall, Fonzie McCachran of Fort Hood, and Roseanne Langell of Lower Onslow, trained and driven by Paul Langell. Pondle Bay Andrew, an Archpeak colt out of the Sports Writer Dam, Equal Dignity, bred and sold at the 25 Atlantic sale by Ian Smith. Malicious Whisper is on the outside. Malicious Gelding out of the Intrepid Sealster Dam, White Sand Whisper, bred by Alan McDonald, owned by Albany Meadows of Albany. Trained by Cliff Murphy. Kenny Murphy drives, half-brother to Old Buck. 318 starts and 43 lifetime winners. These are 2-year-old colt pacers in the third. Post time. There they go. Off and pacing, they're coming from the outside. Pondle Bay Andrew and Malicious Whisper along the rail. That is Woodmere Rocket now with the lead around the turn. On the inside, that's Rain Man racing from third. Up fourth is Malicious Whisper. Away fifth is Sugar Cube. And the 6th one, Brew Ha Ha Speed. So they all have pylon positions here in the early going. And it's Woodmere Rocket in line to Corey McPherson out in front as they arrive at the quarter. Away second is Pondle Bay Andrew, now in third. That's Rain Man. Racing from fourth is Malicious Whisper. Fifth is Sugar Cube, and then the trailer, Brew Ha Ha Speed. 32-2 was the quarter as they arrive at the 3/8 on the front end. Woodmere Rocket is opened up by 3 open lengths in the 2-hole. Pondle Bay Andrew racing from third. That's Rain Man. Fourth one towards the half-mile, Malicious Whisper. Sugar Cube has fifth, and Brew Ha Ha Speed trailing 6 at the midway point. That is Woodmere Rocket. Halfway home, tracking in second is Funnel Bay Andrew, the half mile in 103 and 1. They pick it up to 30 and 4 in the second split. At the 5/8 pole, Woodmere rockets out in front. Here's Malicious Whisper now. He's picked them off on the outside and coming up to challenge the leader. Racing from third, Funnel Bay Andrew. Rain Man is fourth. Fifth along the inside is Sugar Cube. On the outside, six. Brouhaha Speed. They're on by 3/4. And Woodmere Rocket is still there. On the outside and applying the pressure here in the late going is Malicious Whisper. Right there in the pocket for third, Funnel Bay Andrew. Rain Man went off stride. And through the stretch they come towards the finish. Woodmere Rocket looking to take them all the way. Funnel Bay Andrew's closing up at the rail. And Malicious Whisper. It is Woodmere Rocket and McPherson all the way. Funnel Bay Andrew was second, and Malicious Whisper third. Time for the mile, 2:01 and 1. That's 28 and 1. Closing quarter. Now the results of the third baby race. Woodmere Rocket the winner. Rain Man was sixth. Sugar Cube fourth. Brouhaha Speed was fifth. Funnel Bay Andrew finished second. And Malicious Whisper was third. They went 32 and 2, 103 and 1, 133, and the mile in 2:01 and 1. In review, 164.523. Woodmere Rocket arriving at the winner's circle. Bay Pacing gelding, the 2-year-old son of Tobago Cays off the Ponderosa Dam. Muzzat Mindale, owned by the stable Woodmere Rocket of Guelph, Ontario. For trainer Jamie Smith and driver Corey McPherson. Pacing the closing quarter in 28 and 1. A winner in 2:01 and 1. And just another thank you to our prize package coming from Red Shores and the PEI Harness Racing Industry Association.